this is Daniel with Serenity Knives with another episode of Making the Cut. We've got a very special guest here, Paolo from Umi HTX. He's been doing a great sushi dish for us. What do you got for us today?
So I got a Japanese amberjack, flown in last night. Gonna be breaking it down, showing you how to break down the fish. And then gonna make a dish that I serve at Umi HTX.
Nice. All right, guys, we're gonna let him get to work. I know it was a short introduction, but he's got a lot to do right now, so we'll go ahead and cut to that.
Mostly with every fish, you're gonna start off by making an incision in the belly, and then follow the bones. Then once you hit the ribs, your knife will pretty much tell you hit the ribs. And then you flip it to the other side, same thing, top loin. You're gonna make another incision, follow the way through. The fish pretty much tells you where it wants to be cut, and you'll hear it too. You'll hear almost like clicking noises from the bone. Then once you reach the other end of the fillet, you're gonna cut through the rib cages. Punch your knife through here. Hold with a towel, and you're just gonna cut through the rib cages. Cut the tail off. One fillet. Then from there, I'm gonna take all the bones out, split the loins down the bloodline. Now we have the top loin. Feel for any bones. Don't feel any. Now, I'm gonna take off the skin. Take a little chunk off. Hold with your towel and just follow through. Now I'm gonna start making some sashimi slices, cutting some sashimi slices for the crudo I'm gonna make. So I got the fish, gonna wrap it with some avocado. Have some green apples here. Hit it with a little lemon juice for some acidity. Have some fish sauce here. Chili oil. Garnish it with a little green onion. And then just hit it with some finishing salt. Now I'm gonna make some nigiris. Got some sushi rice here. So pretty much you want to get your piece of fish, lay it on these 3 fingers. Grab a fair amount of sushi rice. You're gonna make sushi ball. Gonna put it down, press down, form it, and you're gonna form it. And this one, I'm gonna hit it with fish sauce. And a little finishing salt.
All right, guys, so you saw Paolo break down that fish beautifully. We're gonna have a little bit more food off air, but for right now, we're gonna focus in on what he's doing. We're gonna talk a little bit with him. So, Paolo, first and foremost, how'd you get into cooking? What got you into sushi? Talk to me a little bit more about your background.
So, growing up, my dad always loved sushi. That was his favorite food as a little kid, taking me everywhere, eat sushi. He was always cooking in the kitchen. I'd always just watch him. And then I always wanted to get into the culinary world, I just never knew how. And then started working at Uchi, and that's pretty much how my love for cooking began.
So you started there, how'd you get into that, and then what made you really decide like that's where you wanted to be?
So I actually went to go eat there about, I want to say 4 years ago for Father's Day, because my dad loves sushi.
Okay,
so
okay, the tie in there,
I gotta take you to Uchi. And the meal I had there was spectacular. What they put out at Uchi is incredibly good. And I just pretty much followed them on all social medias. And one day I saw they were hiring for sushi chefs, willing to train anybody from scratch, and that just.
So time out. You didn't go through culinary school, and you just busted going in there on an opening.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty high tier place for you to just walk in with no experience,
Yeah.
and you definitely had to feel a little bit of out of your element and just go in there and just bust.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy how it all happened. I still remember the first days, like, 'cause there's a program called staging. That's
Okay.
how you pretty much go in and show what you have. You work with the sushi guy that told them I wanted to like be sushi. Then I stayed with the sushi guy the whole day. He would just give me easy things like the jalapenos and stuff like that. And at that time, to me, I had like no knife experience. So cutting jalapenos, I was literally shaking the whole time. I'm sure my boy Albertson remembers that moment.
Okay, and so basically, I take it you just busted through it and found a love there.
Yep.
And so, unfortunately, with everything going on right now, with COVID and how a lot of restaurants have been kind of put under a bad light right now because they can't staff, I've noticed you're starting to do something a little different. Talk to me more about what you're doing right now.
So I started doing some pop-ups,
Okay.
omakase pop-ups.
What's an omakase? Sorry to interrupt you.
Omakase in Japanese pretty much translates to leave it to the chef. And what I'm doing is week to week creating a menu and serving it to 6 guests at a spot in Montrose.
And did you come up with this concept, or did you just, because being able to adapt in this time right now is huge, and you seem to be able to do that. And I've seen your social media, which is why we got you. A lot of people are loving what you're doing. So where did that transition happen where you didn't just sit and go, I gotta wait till this all passes over, and you said, no, I've gotta hit this going, and where'd that come from?
What happened was I was doing an omakase for my parents, just at home, just for fun.
So for dad again?
Yeah, for dad.
That's awesome, man.
Anytime I can make sushi for my dad, I'll
That's
make
awesome,
it.
bro.
And pretty much did an omakase for them, put it on social media, and one of my good friends, he was like, hey, would you ever be down to do this for like me and some friends for his birthday? And I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, like that's freaking awesome. And ever since then, it just clicked in my head. I was like, hey, this is something I really want to do.
Wow.
And pretty much invested in some equipment. They let me do the omakase for them, and it started to pick up after that.
Wow, man, that's a crazy story, actually. So when you're doing these omakases, what's one of your kind of favorite thing to do as far as maybe a fish or a certain animal or even a dish? What is it that you really like doing?
Definitely, the best part about the omakase is definitely like working with whoever I'm working with, like collaborating, working together, putting out some good food, and then the best part about it too is seeing the guests' reactions.
Awesome.
To the food.
Awesome. And I with what you're doing, I know Uchi does a really good job at catering to the guests and asking all these questions. I'm pretty sure you do the same thing where you're asking people what they're allergic to, stuff like that, correct?
Yeah, any allergies, dietary restrictions, special requests, special ingredient requests.
And so it's a real personal feel there,
Yeah.
where you're really getting to know what it is they like so that
Yeah.
you prepare a menu for them, right?
Yes, sir.
And then from there, it's leave it to the chef, right?
Yes, sir.
Omakase. That's awesome, man. So earlier you kind of said something about collaborating with a couple of people. Who do you got right now that you're working with?
So this week I'm actually collaborating with my boy Andre.
Okay.
He used to be a chef, one of the executive sous chef at Morimoto in New York City.
Whoa.
So it's an honor to collaborate with him, and that guy's
Yeah.
knowledge in the kitchen is insane. I look up to him a lot. I mean, we've been prepping this whole week, getting ready for Friday, Saturday, and this dinner, I'm super excited for it. He has some pretty awesome dishes coming out. Excited for it.
Okay. So you're working with him pretty soon. If we were to say, chefs around Houston and people you would want to work with, I know you've also got to work alongside Chris Davies, which is the head chef over at Uchi. Great name there. Who else would you consider maybe wanting to work with around here?
Anybody, really. Whoever. The best part about the omakase is it's, like I said, you leave it to the chefs.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody wants to come and showcase their talent, I'm more than open to it. I definitely, there's some chefs out here in Houston that would be like a dream to collaborate with.
Give me a name.
Just off the top of my head, like Johnny Rose, Indigo.
Right on.
That guy.
Yeah.
I've been there at Indigo twice, man. It's
you actually got to eat there?
Yeah, I've been there twice.
Man, that place is
the
always.
best part about it is he came into Uchi one time, and thankfully we were able to like showcase our sushi skills. So
hey Johnny, you heard it. First off, we got to get you on, and then secondly, you got to work with Paolo here. He's killing it right now. So that's awesome, and definitely that'd be awesome to see you two working together. Maybe I can get both of you guys in on a video. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be interesting, man. I really like that. But yeah, no, he's definitely tearing it up, and I could see where you definitely fit in and get some knowledge from him, and then also kind of share your passion with him, because you've definitely got something there. You've got a passion, huge. So with your omakase, this is something similar you do. Tell me about this dish that we got here in front of us.
Yeah, so this is a kampachi crudo. You have a little fish sauce, kampachi with Japanese amberjack, some chili oil, green apples, and some avocado. Just get a bite of everything. It's an explosion of flavors.
So what kind of flavors, profiles am I here? I heard Japanese. I didn't even get the name of the fish.
Japanese amberjack, kampachi.
Okay.
It's almost like a ceviche.
Okay. And so with that, this is something we can look at too with your omakases with Umi, right? This is something we can definitely, you definitely like to do.
Sushi, hot dishes, like you can have pork belly, chicken, stuff like that in a composed dish. Nigiri, sushi, like fish over rice, ceviche inspired dishes like this. That's what you can expect.
Definitely. So I heard you earlier also talk about how you love to kind of take your dad to get sushi because he kind of brought you up on that. So I take it you really love trying to cook for him. How's he seen everything with what you're doing and how things are going? How's he been liking that and seeing his son go in and excel?
He loves it. He's super happy for me. He's always supported in whatever I did. So awesome. His support right now is like crazy. So if it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible.
Hey, that's shout out to dad, man. I love my dad too. I definitely have a deep heart feeling for that. So other than family, your dad, you like doing this for friends or
friends, family, anybody.
Nice. And anything that you haven't really worked with yet that you've been wanting to work with pretty soon, a certain type of fish or like some sort of high-end meat? Is there anything you haven't worked with yet that you've been wanting to get into?
For the most part, not really.
Awesome.
Usually, you can expect all premium ingredients in my pop-ups, like Wagyu, sea urchin, bluefin tuna, any type of fish from the Toyosu market in Japan, scallops, prawns. So
What's your most fun or favorite dish to do? Yeah.
My favorite sushi piece in the world would definitely be fatty tuna.
So walk me through. You get just tuna or a certain type of tuna?
So it's like the fattiest piece on the tuna.
Okay.
The belly piece. Just serve it over rice, and it just.
So just simplicity right there.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that, man. So we're gonna eat a little bit of this here in a minute, but I'm gonna ask you a question on knives here. You brought this guy out. Now this one, I appreciate you showing love to us here, but what do you got here? This seems to be the one you love to break down with fish, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me more about what you like about this guy.
Probably want to say last month, for a good 2 weeks, I was looking for a fish or a knife to break down fish with. And I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I don't know how I came across this knife.
Okay.
I just know I was on your guys' website, and I was like, hey, this knife is like something I've been looking for to break down fish. And it turns out you guys ended up being in Houston. I hit you up for it, came through, got it, and I love it, man.
Yeah?
I love it.
Been treating you right?
Yeah.
Good. I love it. Well, you guys heard it. You know, our knife is definitely serving him right. Let's go ahead and get into this, man.
Yeah,
and I appreciate everything that you did. I don't know if it's cool to cheers with the sticks, but
yeah, man. Try to get a bite of everything together. You have to make it messy.
Perfect.
Get a little sauce, get a little everything.